guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you are all doing okay and have had a lovely weekend. Today I'm coming to you with a video of a BIAB application, but this time using tip extensions. Now, this isn't something that I do very often. I normally only do tips with BIAB for fixes, but this client wanted a full set of BIAB with tips, and like I say, it's something that I normally sway people off because I think it's better, me personally, to start off your journey with your natural nails and allowing them to grow out. But tips is an option, and I thought I would film this because I don't think I've actually done a video showing how I do my application with tips, and it is a little bit different for me, so I thought it'd be good for me to pick up the camera and film it because, like I say, I know I've had people ask me whether I use forms or tips. Now, I don't use forms, I've always used tips, and yeah, this was just something I knew that I hadn't filmed and already had on my channel, so I thought, let's pick the camera up. I had a lovely client in that was willing for me to film her appointment, which was amazing. So if you're watching this, thanks, gal. So yeah, I hope you found it helpful, and we will crack on. So what we're going to start off by doing is I've got my 180 240 file from Nobu, and I'm just going to start off by etching the nail plate. Now, I'm going to be using the 180 grit file for the nail bed, and then I'm also going to be using the 240 side for the free edge, just because you don't want anything too harsh on the free edge. Now, I'm basically doing this to prepare for the tips, so I just like to etch them for the tips just so that I find they stick better. And I'm just going to be going over, I'm just going to do one hand at a time, just basically show you one hand so that it's not too long, because if I film this whole video and didn't cut any bits out, then it literally would be like an hour. So yeah, I've just basically done that, and I'm not going to be worrying too much. As you'll see, it's literally just kind of like the bottom half of the nail because I'm just basically prepping it for the tips. So I'm going to be doing my kind of cuticle prep and all of that jazz a little bit later, which you will see. And I am basically going to be just going with my tips now. I'm using the clear pinched square tips by Glitterbels. They are my holy grail. I absolutely love them. So yeah, they're super easy to kind of size up, and they're going to be really easy to stick down. I use the Glitterbels glue as well, and I'm just going to be fitting all of the tips on for one hand. Like I say, I'm just going to show you one hand so it's not too long for you. So this is what they are looking like now that the tips are applied. So obviously, as with BIAB or acrylics, you just want to keep the tips quite low down onto the nail, just to allow a lot of nail plate to be free for obviously the product. And with these, obviously, like I say, I don't normally do BIAB with tips, and if I do, I just keep them a pretty short extension for situations like these, just because essentially what it is that I put tips on for is mainly the shape. It's not really for length, especially when you are starting out, just because you just don't want to be going too crazy. I do normally do tips for fixes, but not as full sets. So the tip cutters that I actually use are like sized ones so that you can get the length. So I cut them right to the shortest one, but I actually wanted to take a little bit more off. So I took my other tip cutters and just took them a little bit smaller. Again, it's mainly just for the shape because this client likes square, so it was literally just to pretty much get the shape rather than length. So I've just cut them as short as possible, and I'm going to be going in with my file again, and this time I'm going to be using the 180 side. Obviously, I don't normally do that on free edges. It's just the natural nails that you're obviously wary of. When it's tips, it's fine. So yeah, I'm just going to be shaping those up, making sure they are sharp square, which is what this client likes, and I'm going to be blending these tips in and making sure they're blended in well, just because obviously they need to be blended in well when they're acrylics, when you're applying acrylics, but with BIAB mainly it's so important that they need to be blended well, just because it's a lot easier to kind of see the kind of level difference, and I'll talk you through that whole step a little bit later. But for now, we just want to make sure that they are very well blended and shaped, and I will be doing this now. I'm just going to go in with my sanding band to just go over the tips again, and like I say, make sure they are super blended. So I just run over the tips to blend them into the natural nail. So this is what we're looking like at this stage. They're all like shaped, resized, and blended. I haven't done any of my cuticle prep here, which is what I'll go on to next. Now, I actually just realised that I didn't film the prep stage, and I actually don't remember not filming that, so super sorry. I'm going in with my dehydrator here. Obviously, if you did want any kind of advice on prep, there is loads of other videos of tutorials where I've included my prep. I think it was mainly because the whole point of this video was just showing the application with tips, so that must have been why I didn't include it. But yeah, I'm just going in with my dehydrator, and the biab that I'm going to be using is the Black Bottle Cookie Cream, which I actually don't use a base coat with. I go straight in with the builder gel, and I'll show you which builder gel I'm using in 0.5 seconds, which should be now. Here we go. So yeah, this is the builder gel that I'm using. It's the Black Bottle shade Cookie Cream, which honestly, I actually can't tell you how much I love this product. It is beautiful. The shade, the application, like the self-leveling, it's just 10 out of 10 for me. So the first thing that we're going to do after dehydrating is check that obviously it's all dehydrated, check that it's all dried out, and you can see it actually working on the nail plate when it dries. And then I'm just going to be going in with a super thin layer for the first step. So I'm just going to make sure the whole nail is covered, including the tip, and then I am going to set that for 99 seconds. So I obviously did that for the other hand, but I didn't include it in the video just because I don't want it to be too long. So next, what I'm going to do is the second bead layer. Now, you will have seen in my other application videos that the process is kind of the same, where I place the bead just up to the just a little bit below the cuticle and push the product back. And what I do is I just kind of hover that down the nail, as you'll see here. But the problem with tips is that obviously there is kind of, you can see like a little dip in the nail from where the tip starts and the natural nail ends. So what I do is I do my application as normal, go in with my fine liner afterwards, but then what I'll ask the client to do is I'll ask them to kind of turn their hand upside down, and what this will do is this will create the apex for me, and will self level that with tips a little bit better. So I flip it upside down, and then what I do is I check it from a side profile, and I will use my fine liner to just move the product exactly where I want it. And I will make sure that the whole nail is flush and there's an apex there. So this will kind of gravity will pull the product downwards. And then when I flip it back over, I'll just kind of double check it super quick, and then I'll pop it in the lamp, because we need to be acting fast with it, because the product can move obviously, as we know, and we just want to make sure that all the work that we've done with pulling that product down with gravity, we are keeping that. And you've just literally got a few seconds to basically double check it from the proper angle and just make sure that you are super happy with it when you're going into the lamp. So I have included the other hand in this clip just because I do one nail at a time, and I just like to do that because I don't like to do more than one nail at once, because as I said, the product can move, and I just like to kind of make sure that that's in the lamp. And what I do is I will go on to the next hand, again follow the same process, just apply it as I normally would, and then get the client to turn the hand upside down. I'm so sorry about this angle, you can't really see much here, but you hopefully did catch it in the first clip, and I do include quite a few nails just so that you can see it over and over again, and you will quickly see there the side profile of that product just kind of sitting really nicely after you've flipped it upside down. So I am going to follow that process on all of the nails, and just to make sure that I'm super happy, and yeah, just make sure that you're happy with it before it goes into the lamp, because then you know that you're going to have minimal refining and you're not going to have much work to do when it comes out. So yeah, that's exactly how I do it. It works super well for me. You will see a little clip of the application only before any refinement at the end, but for now I will let this video play, and hopefully you will grasp what I'm doing, and hopefully I explained it pretty well. So here we are. That is the application only. I've not done any refining here, and I am super happy with these. But like I say, I always like to go over just the free edge and make sure the shape is popping, and just check it from the side profile. So here I'm just removing the inhibition layer by getting a little bit of acetone on a lint-free wipe, and I just wipe over them, and then I'm going to be going in with my file again. So again, this is my 240 180 file, and as I say, I'm just going to be refining the shape. And what I do with every single set of nails that I do is when I'm at this refining stage, I will always check the nail from the side profile, make sure that it is lovely structure, and if there is any kind of things that I want to change, anywhere where the product is kind of collected and it's looking a bit bulky, I will always go over and refine. So yeah, I don't think there was very many nails. I think it was maybe the previous one that I was working on. I just had a little bit of product that I wanted to kind of debulk in the corner. Because yeah, I just wasn't completely happy with it, but other than that, they were pretty spot on. But like I say, as long as you are kind of getting the product exactly where you want it to be before it goes in the lamp, then you know you're going to have minimal refining to do afterwards. So yeah, I always refine the shape, no matter whether I'm doing it with tips or on natural nails. I'll always refine the shape after the biop is all set. And just to basically go over, what I do is I do each nail at a time, making sure that I set each nail in between. Doesn't have to be a full cure when you're kind of switching between the two, but I make sure that when all of the nails are on, they go in for a full 99-second low heat mode cure.
when all of the nails are done. So yeah, that's exactly how I do it, and it works super great for me. And yeah, hopefully it makes sense, and I'm kind of explaining it a little bit so that it's understandable. But yeah, that's just a little quick view. Oh, here we go. Here is after I have refined. So that's how the nails are looking. So these are basically ready for any design now. So this client picked a autumn design, and these are the colours we are going to be using. And she actually picked a design that I did last autumn, which I will pop at the bottom of the screen kind of in the corner, because again, I'm still getting used to these angles. I'm super sorry because you can't really see much, but it's basically this design that's in the corner. And what I do is I just separate all of the colours out onto my palette and get my fine liner and just basically do the little lines up from the nails. It's super easy. And she was mixing this up with some Frenchies, some gradient browns, and yeah, the design on the middle two fingers. So all I do between the colours on the kind of line design is I just set each colour in between, so that you're not going to get any bleeding into, like, you know, when the colours bleed into each other, because obviously they're sitting next to each other, so you want to set them in between each colour. So I will do one colour, and then I think I actually did two because there was like a gap for me to fit two in, and then I'll set them and then go in with the other colours. So yeah, there's a little bonus little design included for you. This was, yeah, a lovely autumn design. I'm absolutely obsessed with autumn colours. I love them so much. So yeah, I don't think, yeah, I didn't include the other hand in this either, just because I was wary of the video being too long. So now I think we might be on top coat. So I'm going to top coat them. I'm using the Glitterbels top coat, and then I will set that for 60 seconds. And then I will apply some cuticle oil, and we are all done. Just a quick little side note as well, if I ever do Frenchies, not so much with like designs or anything, but especially Frenchies, and especially if they're square, once I've done the top coat and once they are all set, I will just refine the shape again, just because obviously you're putting more product onto the edge. I just like to make sure my shape is 10-10, so I just go in with a 240 file and just kind of reshape the edges, just because it makes the bottom of the nail kind of like neat again, in case any of the gel had kind of like gone under and some hadn't, or if that makes sense. I just literally run my file, as you'll see here, just to refine the shape, because I just think they look so nice, especially when they're square. They just look even better. So yeah, that was just a quick little side note. So I'm going to go in with my cuticle oil now, and this is the almond cuticle oil from Glitterbels. Oh my god, if you have not smelt this, I wish you could smell it through this video, because it's just to die for. It's an absolute dream. And this is the first time I've actually used a cuticle oil that's in a bottle as well, because normally mine are like, that sounds stupid, in a bottle with a brush, you know, like how the top coat comes. Normally mine's like in a bottle with like a pipette, and then I brush it on. But yeah, I absolutely love this one. It's actually hilarious though, because it comes in the same bottle as the top coat, and I think so many clients, since I've switched it up, think I'm like putting top coat on the cuticles, and I'm like, no, I promise it's cuticle oil. So yeah, here is the finished look. How cutesy are those? Here for the autumn designs. I think I'm just ready for a new season now. But yeah, hope you love them.
There you go guys, that is everything. I hope you loved this design and found the application side of it helpful. I am like still trying to get all like the camera angles and stuff, and hopefully I explained it well for the times that I didn't get the angles quite right. But yeah, I hope you find it helpful, and as always, if you have any questions, then please just pop them in the comments and I will come back to you. Or if you don't want to post it kind of publicly, you can message me on Instagram. I'll pop my little handle at the bottom of the screen, and you can head over there and follow me on that. But thank you so much for watching. If you could like and subscribe, that would be absolutely amazing, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.